We always begin with gratitude. So I want to thank you for being here and for doing whatever it is you needed to do to show up and to be present here. I'm so honored to have your energy and your presence in this space. I'm LA, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a holistic wellness therapreneur, and the creator of this channel, Reconnect with You. I want to extend a warm welcome and a hug to you if you are new here. If you are returning, welcome back. If my vibe and energy or any of the contents of this channel resonate with you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting videos on the first and third Sunday of every month at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for hashtag Solitude Sunday to send y'all some good vibes to start off the week. This channel has a primary focus on wellness and will include sound baths, affirmations, tips for different aspects of wellness, and short talks focused on you and your relationship with yourself, which is the foundation for all of your other relationships and aspects of your life. So, are you ready to reconnect with you? If so, come on in and get comfortable, whatever getting comfortable looks and feels like for you. If you've watched some of my earlier videos, I used to choose a crystal to highlight for each of my videos. And I've also talked about crystals or gemstones here and there. So I thought I would do kind of a fun video where I talk about how I use crystals and gemstones. I have over 100 crystals, and the very first crystal that I bought was kyanite. I bought that crystal because one of my former colleagues talked about how kyanite helps to absorb negative energy. And I am a therapist, and at the time I was seeing clients in the office, and so I wanted to have the kyanite in my office to just help cleanse the space before and after my client sessions. Before I go into talking about crystals, I do want to name that I do not order my crystals online. I have an intuitive selection process that I use to help me to pick out crystals whenever I go to metaphysical or occult stores. So I will never order online. I usually always go in person and choose the crystal that I feel like I am called to or drawn to. One way that I use crystals is for traveling. When I travel, I may have crystals in my bra. I also have them in my purse or in my backpack, and they really help me to have calm energy. I also use them during travel for protection. The second way that I use crystals is for dream recall. One of my previous videos, I talk about using a dream journal. So the crystal that helps me with dream recall is red jasper. To help me with dream recall, I will place the red jasper crystal under my pillow, and I set an intention, and that helps me to recall my dreams more easily. The third way that I use crystals is during meditation. I use them to just help me to feel more centered and more grounded. There are particular crystals that I might select and choose to use during meditation. I also have here one of my favorite crystals, which is amethyst. Amethyst is one of my favorite crystals, and it's one of the crystals that I use very often during meditation. The fourth way that I use crystals is during my spiritual baths. I actually take spiritual baths a lot. Sometimes I take one just because if I feel like I need cleansing, or if I need it for a particular reason, or some difficulty or challenge or blockage that I'm trying to remove, I may take a spiritual bath. I also take spiritual baths pretty routinely for the new moon and the full moon. And so what I'll do is I will light my candles, and I also will line my crystals or gemstones along my bathtub. I don't put them in the water. Some people might choose to do that, but I don't do that. I'll use them as companions during my spiritual baths as well. The fifth way that I use crystals is for manifestation. So I mentioned that I take spiritual baths for the new moon. The new moon is an opportune time for manifestation. So anything that you are looking to create or to allow to flow into your life. The sixth way that I use crystals is during my sound therapy sessions. I will always have crystals present with me. And again, I use an intuitive selection process where I kind of look at the crystals that I have and decide which ones I might want to join me for that particular sound bath. And these are sound baths that I do for myself or that I lead for individuals or groups, but I'll always have crystals present with me during my sound therapy sessions, also known as sound baths. I also use crystals as a grounding object. So one of the grounding techniques that I recommend to clients is to have a grounding object with them. So sometimes I might use a crystal or a gemstone as a grounding object. And I use this amethyst a lot actually as a grounding object because it is one of my favorite crystals. The seventh way that I use crystals or gemstones is to cleanse my tarot and my oracle decks. So whenever I receive a new deck, I will never use the deck before I cleanse it. So one of the things that I use to cleanse it is a selenite crystal. I will place my deck on the windowsill or even outside if the weather permits, and I will use that selenite crystal. I'll set some intentions. I also use a white candle to just help cleanse the deck and cleanse the energy of the deck before I use it for the first time. The eighth way that I use crystals or gemstones is jewelry. So I have this green aventurine necklace. I'm not sure if you can see it. You can probably see it when I do that. Some people say aventurine, some people say aventurine. Tomato, tomato, pronounce it however you would like. I say a green aventurine. This stone is known as the stone of opportunity. One of my sisters actually got this for me. I wear it almost every day. It carries a very positive energy to it, and I know that my sister was very intentional when she selected it for me. Before we wrap up today, I wanted to share with y'all what some of my favorite crystals are. So I've already mentioned to you that amethyst is my favorite crystal. I also really like black tourmaline, which I use for protection. Rose quartz is also another one of my favorites as it relates to self-love and attracting healthy love. Malachite I use for abundance and prosperity and wealth, and it's a really beautiful green color. Lastly, another favorite crystal of mine, which I've already mentioned, is red jasper. Because I do a lot of dream work with myself. I've been doing dream journaling and dream work for over 10 years, and actually maybe even longer than that. But I use red jasper a lot to help me with dream recall. I'm also going to give some recommendations in the description box just for some metaphysical and occult shops that I shop at, including some local ones in North Carolina and also some others that I have visited. Today's video doesn't necessarily have a prompt, but I'm just curious if there's any crystal in particular that you are drawn to, or anyone that I might have mentioned today that you want to learn more about and why that is for you. Well, that's what I have for y'all today. I look forward to connecting with y'all again soon, but in the meantime, reconnect with you. Namaste.